Hello and welcome to my October newsletter. So here I am, Phyllis Brown, if you haven't linked in. And I do a little video blog because sometimes in the newsletter, trying to get across the message can be quite difficult, or trying to find the right words to describe how the month that was can be quite difficult. So September, as I reflect back on September, there were some really stark reality checks, I think is probably the word for me. And in August, it was all about consolidating. Am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Am I going in the right direction? Do I actually even know where I'm going? So all of those thoughts were sort of really swirling around. So August was about consolidation and sticking to the plan. And what I found in September was a real, I don't know how to describe it. I suppose the first half of September was okay, but the last half of September I really didn't enjoy. And it was really the dark night of the soul. All my worst fears just tended to come up to the forefront. And how that manifests for me is just the thought of losing loved ones, losing my reality, losing what was normal. So it was all about loss and dealing with loss. And I expressed in August how I was dealing with some grief process from the loss of one of my teachers. And here was just another depth of loss, but it was what really would impact me personally, that what would really, what would it feel like? What it would feel like for me. And so the last half of the month was really quite an emotional roller coaster in terms of just sitting really quietly and dealing with those emotions and having to face those fears and having to find those tools. We talk about all the classes that we've been to and the tools that we've acquired, the lessons that we've been involved in, the skills that we've gained, that we've paid for, all of that stuff. But do we actually put it into practice? And so it was a real sense of actually having to look at, well, what were the tools that I have at my fingertips? My crystals, my Reiki, filling my body, supporting my body with these gifts and these tools around me so that those fears could just ebb and subside away. And, I did a lot of crying in September, not sort of walking around sobbing, but, watching maybe stupid things on television and find that really emotional. And it wasn't really the television, it was just an opportunity to release or express some of those emotional processes. And I know for some of the clients that I've had, the people who come to see me both online or over the phone or in person, emotions are questioning, is this what I signed up for? Is this actually the reality that I want to have in my life? This is hard. Um, am I doing the right thing? Am I putting myself in a good space? Do I understand how this all works? And I think that's one of the key things where we set out on a journey and we go, yep, we're going to be on this high spiritual vein. And then suddenly people around us, their behaviors are really low brow or low energy or truculent, childish, um, defensive, not listening, not being open to different perspectives. And it suddenly you're thinking, wow, is this, who am I with? Do I recognize these people? Is this where I'm meant to be? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Because they're all out of sync or I'm out of sync. And it's been really exhausting. And again, from my clients, they've witnessed behavior where they've had to really question that whole aspect of, do I really need this person in my life, or should I just call it a day? This is too hard. And then then suddenly out of all of that, then the veils lift and you come back to self and you go, no, actually, I do have the tools. I can, and I do know how to keep myself separate from the drama of these other people. I do know how to stand my ground. I do know how to protect myself. I have got the tools. And so it's the end of September it just felt like a firestorm of emotions that really did feel like the dark night of the soul, having to really, really dig deep, having to dig deep to what is important to you and how you would normally support yourself through those trying times. And yet we come into October and well, for me personally, I'm just like, wow, thank God I'm here. And already the energy is lighter. Things are flowing much better. I personally don't feel as tired as I did at the end of September. I don't feel emotionally exhausted. I'm looking forward to the end of the year. I feel I've got a plan, I've got objectives, I've got destination, I've got, I don't know, just things to look forward to. And yet September was just the hard basket. It really was. And I just want you to know, because the feedback that I get from my students and from the people who read my newsletter is like, wow, did you feel like that as well? It's comforting to know. And at the end of the day, I am only human like everyone else. And yes, I do have tools and I'm in a space where I do tend to use my tools, but sometimes I just get caught out. And I have to say, the last 2 weeks in September definitely caught me out, just unprepared for that emotional roller coaster. So, what is that telling us? What is that telling us? So, this is what it's told me. So let me just frame it in my mind so I can really describe it. What it framed for me was that I'm not responsible for other people's behavior, and I'm not responsible for their spiritual journey. I'm not responsible for their personal growth. I'm only responsible for me. And when things that I say and the way that I behave sparks a negative response or sends someone off behaving in a truculent, childish, silly manner where they're expressing themselves in really low terms. Do you know that's okay? That's absolutely okay. I can't change that. It's not my job. I'm not going to take responsibility for that. That's their journey. And so we come back to, I'm just trying to think of the word in Buddhism, self-cherishing. So we step away from self-cherishing and feeling hurt and feeling lost or disowned or disconnected from these people. We just come back to, oh, do you know, we give them compassion and we give them love and we go, wow, that's a lot of pain or a lot of anger or a lot of frustration that you live your life in and you allow yourself to live your life. So, hey, that's okay. If that's how you want to live your life, then that's absolutely fine by me. But I'm not going to come down to that level. I just physically, mentally, and emotionally can't come down to that level. I can only be here. And you need to really give yourself credit for those of you who are seeing dramas all around you, people kicking off, people being upset, people being sort of angry or frustrated at you, then that's okay. You come back to self and you go, do you know what? It is okay. It's okay to be on this fifth dimensional plane. And it's okay to not buy into your drama, but it's also okay just to give you compassion and love and a sense of connection whilst not buying into owning or feeling responsible for other people's reactions. And it was a really tough lesson for me. It was exceptionally tough. watching people's behavior and going, oh wow, this is not what I thought this was going to be. This is not how I thought they would react. Wow. But that's okay. And through sending out unconditional love, because we have to love unconditionally. And I brought this up in a recent Reiki One attunement. And I just get the feeling that for myself, in giving a Reiki One attunement, it's almost like we give ourselves, us Reiki master teachers who are performing the attunement, we give ourselves an attunement ourselves because we're channeling it. So therefore, level one is all about our physical relationship to people around us, things around us, our work, our friendships, our belongings, our everyday life. So if we, as Reiki Master teachers, haven't been doing our self-healing, haven't been acknowledging our emotional pain as we go along, we've been dumping it in that too hard basket, then, oh my goodness, it's going to come up and it's going to hit you in the face. So I kind of got it with my Reiki One attunement class just the other weekend, that this was me preparing and debunking and letting go and resolving some of my inner fears. But I think that the dark night of the soul, those really hard questions, what would life be like? What if I didn't do this? What if I hadn't made this choice? Although they're confronting, once you've confronted your fears, acknowledged, so we have to, the quick road to pain, we have to acknowledge our pain, be it fear, be it frustration, anger, resentment. Wow, resentment is a huge one. Guilt, feeling guilty. So you have to acknowledge your pain, then you have to own your pain because it does belong to you. It doesn't belong to other people. You're feeling the pain, not them. So you have to feel that pain. You have to go, well, why am I resentful? Why am I guilty? Why am I feeling anger? Where does that come from? Once you acknowledge the pain, you accept the pain, and then you go, okay, I feel this because, and then you work through the because part, and then you're all into yourself, then you can let it go. People often say, oh, I'll just let it go. I've let it go. And then a couple of years later, they're going, oh my gosh, I thought I'd let that go and I hadn't. The path to releasing the pain is you have to acknowledge that you are in pain. You have to acknowledge what that pain is, and you have to own it because it belongs to you. It doesn't belong to anyone else, only belongs to you. And then you have to recognize it, work your way through that pain, and then you can let it go. And so I feel that with this fifth dimensional living, the universe is going to really test our resilience. And if we really do want to be this highly conscious, enlightened, or evolved person. And the universe is going to say, you've got the tools, you've been in the classes. I know, I've been there, I've been in the classes, I've got the tools, I've got a house full of crystals. I've got my Reiki at my fingertips, I've got my tools. Is she going to use them? Or is she just going to sit and wallow in this pain? What is she going to do? How is she going to support herself? So remember, you've got those tools. Bring those tools in and use them to support yourself. And then suddenly, it's like a cloud was lifted. The 1st of October, it was like a cloud was lifted. And it's just like, bang, everything was gone. It's just like, oh, I feel much better now. I feel great. I feel great. I'm not bursting into tears. I'm not just being emotional for no good reason that I can think about. I'm feeling much more confident or comfortable with the choices that I've made. And I know that I'm in the right space. And the plan is there. The plan is there. I know where I'm going, how I'm going to get there, and the steps that I need to get me to that space. So if you are feeling really tired and disconnected, I think it's a follow on from having to consolidate and be confident in who you are and really owning who you are. You can't blame everyone else for how you feel. You are the person feeling, and only you can feel your feelings. Other people can't feel your feelings. And so you allow that. You allow people to steal your emotions. So you have to put a stop. And really just remembering that you can't change people. So you just disconnect from the behaviors that instill negative emotions in you or spark negative emotions in you, so that they can be their own little Tasmanian devil off in the background, and you can be just that person that is watching, 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 because it's the reflection that you want them to see. That's where you want them to come up to. You don't want to reflect their behavior. And I have to say, I've had some really challenging behavior just recently with really odd statements coming through. And I've really had to go, well, actually, I really don't know how to respond to that because I can't respond to that. And so, again, being really honest with yourself, not being goaded or being provoked in such a way that would make you come down to that really base level, because that's really not where you want to be. And we have been asking, guys, we have been asking for enlightenment since 2012. We're coming up to 2020. All the twos are coming together. It's a 4-year. So it's a really good year. You're still setting foundations. You're still creating the person you want to be. And so, we've got this last quarter of finding our feet, of being who it is or what it is that we want to be. So hang on in there. I suppose it is a process of being really honest with yourself. That's the key thing, being really honest. And once you're honest with yourself, then that's half the journey. That's half the journey, recognizing who you are right now, or what you can become, or who you can become right now. That's the key process. So, yeah, it's been a calm month so far. It's only the 8th day, but fingers crossed the rest of the time will be the same. And I'm feeling very optimistic. I do like October. I used to love the autumn coming in when I was in Scotland. I love that we're into spring. Just here in New Zealand, everyone is basking in that warm days, feeling the heat, feeling the warmth of their skin, looking forward to just the flowers in the garden, the ray of sunshine, the light mornings and light evenings, those extended days. And maybe it was just that dimensional shift from that winter month coming in to the spring, summer months. We're just feeling a little bit more optimistic. So have a think about that as well. I do have a poster of which sort of is the path to release. So if I find it, I will absolutely put it into the newsletter so you can see those steps. It is part of my Reiki 2 manual for my students, because that at Reiki 2, you're wanting those tools to help people. If you do go on to become a Reiki healer, you want those tools to pass on to your clients who come to see you, so that they can actually deal with their pain, if you like. I suppose on bigger picture stuff, exciting aspect for me is that, yes, I had a Reiki One class, 4 amazing students, all with very individual journeys. And just a lovely reminder of the power of Reiki. I just love the Reiki One class when you see that wonderment in people's faces when they're feeling the flow of energy, working with the flow of energy, applying energy to themselves and to those around you. And for one of the students, they've got a really big event this week. So I wish her all the very best. She's got an amazing set of tools there. And I guided her through how to use that through this big event this week. So congratulations. The biggest thing for me is I've been a little bit displaced this year through having moved home, but not really wanting to do workshops from my home. This is our first home in New Zealand that hasn't really been open to the public. we've always had a home where the public have come in, and which is fine, and it's been wonderful. So I really cherish this really private time just for Mike and I in this amazing house. But I've got a lovely, lovely workshop space. So a huge thank you to Leanne Addison at Art and Soul Studio down in Waltham in Christchurch. We ran the Reiki One class from there, and it worked out beautifully. We used the whole space. I'd forgotten how much room you need for a Reiki attunement. The students loved it. The energy was amazing, the healings that took place. So my actual physical classes, with Leanne's permission, will be in Waltham in Christchurch. So we have a tarot workshop coming up, where it's just a one-day workshop where we take you through the history of tarot, but how to read the cards. We're going to meditate with the cards, look at the histology, the history of the cards, but looking at the cards, looking at the message behind the image. How to read a suite of cards. So when we've got a card spread, how does that all link together? And then we'll apply that same knowledge to the oracle cards. So I've got about 30 or 40 packs for the students to practice with. So that's a really great day. A couple of people have booked onto that already, which is just wonderful. So you'll find the details on my website for that. And then we've got the Angelic Soul Connection also in November. And the Angelic Soul Connection is a really self-healing journey. So if you have really struggled with other people's behaviors, if you haven't been able to find that connection with self, then that is actually what the Angelic Soul Connection is. We use 2 archangels. There's a beautiful small crystal kit that comes with that particular course. And it's sort of uncovering me. We uncover who we are, and then we reinvest in ourselves. So it's a 2-part course with Archangel Shamuel and Archangel Raphael. Beautiful, beautiful self-discovery course. And it's been really interesting from the last time that I ran the course in Akaroa. We had sort of 14, I think we had about 14 or 16 students on it back then. And the changes have been quite incredible. The sense of resolution and the sense of worthiness, and I do matter, and I can, and I will, and I know. All of those thoughts and feelings have come to the fore, and they've made some really wonderful positive changes in their life. So again, you'll find the details on my website for that particular class. It will be run down in the Art and Soul studio workshop space. So just very excited and looking forward to 2020, to putting together a whole program of classes with Phyllis. So that's just great. And for those of you who are far in the field, further away, then we have what we call my live classes. And those are my live webinar classes. So we have mindful manifesting coming up on there, and a tarot course. So the tarot course is just over a 4-week period. The mindful manifesting, I think, is a 5-week, just a short 1 hour or 1.5 hour webinar class. I'll talk you through the course manual as we go through. You have access to everything, all the tools that you need online. The classes are recorded, and then that's a bonus section within each class. So if you are further afield and you'd like some physical connection, you will be talking to me live, as we are right now, and seeing other students live in the class as well, which is always fun. It's great. It's great to have that connection with students that could be anywhere in the globe, but sharing and supporting and helping each other develop the tools that they need. So it's a busy end to the year. I'm looking forward to running both the webinar classes and the live classes. Saying a big, big thank you to Leanne at the Art and Soul studio in Waltham, just for providing, creating, and allowing me to sort of use her amazing space. So it's very exciting times indeed. So I hope my newsletter has been helpful. I think if I can find my post that I've made on the quick path to healing, I will absolutely put it in the newsletter. Have a look at the newsletter. It's a little bit longer about where the energies have been. And until the next time, you guys take care, use the tools that you have, and we'll see you in November. So bye for now.